chat about writing and how to perceive those ideas. But I think it's one of the things that I've always been trying to encourage people to just be a bit more daring about what they do with short films. And I think there's some things that I really, really like about the use of music and dance and the sort of idea of building up from improvisation and getting people to, would build up performances rather than sort of just have a script and speak to it. And I thought that gave a wonderful sense of being in the Northeast as well. I have one niggle, which I will mention later, which I think might be a problem for you if this sort of goes out to the wider world, which I'll mention later. So, you're going to tell us a bit about it. Are you ready? Right.
Hi everyone, I'm Arun Bose. I'm from Kerala, India. I came to Newcastle in Jan 2010 to do my MA in Film Studies. My background is documentary filmmaking, and I was working as a documentary filmmaker back in India and basically working with tribal communities and documenting real life stories. In fact, making the community themselves create their own film. That was the objective of the company which I worked for. So my background is purely documentary, and partially I do short films, as a pure passion, not for any profession. So I hope you enjoy the film. I tell you, I'm going to explain briefly. It's not going to be a too long slide or anything. Just briefly how it happened. I rather call film happenings rather than making. It's the way it evolved from the very first day I met Tim. I met Tim in last Halloween day at Street. Tim was performing there, and we had a good chat then. I was slightly drunk then. I went and sat beside. Tim knows it. Tim, yeah. So I just went and sat.
Everyone else is drunk.
So I just went and sat with Tim for almost an hour, listening to his music because it was quite captivating music. And then I met Tim another occasion in the street during daytime. Then we had a good chat. We shared the mobile numbers. And later I called him. Then I didn't have any plans for a film. At later stage of time, I thought of just going and spending one night when Tim plays there, sit beside him and just listen to his music all day. And then I had my camera, so I thought just shoot what is happening there. So I went on shooting this first. This film has no script. Trust me, I have never written any script for this film. I tell you, if I look now and see how this a structure and form of film, certain things I can confidently say, which is imperfect, 100% imperfect, process-led film, and it's incomplete. I feel it quite incomplete at certain points, and purely collaborative, and a guerrilla film. No fixed rules are followed for this film, like in conventional filmmaking. No pre-planned story, no script, no screenplay, or no storyboard. Narrative and the mise-en-scene actually evolved from the surroundings, actors, and happenings. And a lot of situations generated the story for me. No producers, no investment. We never discussed the business of film from the very first day. No pre-planned cast, no pre-planned crew, and everybody who involved in this film multitasked. The crew became the cast at various occasions. The cast became the crew at various occasions. Camera was with them, and the characters were the creators. No pre-planned genre. We didn't think about this film is going to be in me and Tim. Definitely we had a chat. We never thought this film was going to be in a particular genre. In fact, Tim, I tell you, after the screening, he asked me, I thought you were doing a documentary film.
Yes, I was going to say, I was really pleased when you
Tim didn't know that I'm doing a fiction about him. No pre-planned duration. I never thought this film will run for 25 minutes. Non-fiction became fiction, a lot of occasions. 40% of the film is purely non-fiction, and vice versa. Fiction became non-fictional. No defined target groups. I thought this would reach this particular target group. As I said, it's purely guerrilla filmmaking, and that's the way it is. No use of paid components. Trust me, I didn't spend any money on this.
Flowers.
Huh?
Did you not have to buy the flowers?
Yeah, that's my pocket money, and I didn't buy the flowers. Tim bought it. And it was Tim's partner who acted in that role. And we were walking at the market and said, we need to get some flowers. And we saw his flower selling place. And Tim, Sue, his partner, said like, Sue, can you just act for this? And Sue said, yeah. And she did the role.
She's got a name today.
Yeah, so only available camera. The camera, you're seeing my HD Handycam, Vinity. That's the camera I shot this one with. And a tree for tripod. I was sitting on top of the tree a lot of the time. Pure sunlight, no lights have been used. Public transportation, I traveled in the stagecoach bus or the metro rail, and I was alone traveling. Real people, real locations, nothing synthetic. No professionals, probably I have little background of filmmaking, but then nobody else who worked in this are professionals. My flatmate Tanu, who is sitting behind, who did the camera for the scenes which and the couple who danced in the film, I met in the street. She did camera for me afterwards.
She just got a grade 1 distinction that day she found out.
Yeah.
She was really happy.
And no strain and no stress. I never felt stressed out in this film. And unlike, I worked in advertisement filmmaking before. I worked in documentaries. Throughout the film, it's strain and stress all the time. I had no stress like that. And in short, it was fun making this film. That was more important. Just quickly explain the process. The film started like a documentary, as I said. I just met Tim and just went on shooting Tim one night fully. Shot people's interaction with Tim at the street for 2 nights. Visited Tim's house at Hexham. He took me to the nearby woods. We just walked around the church and the graveyard. Then the story started building. Developed a story for Tim's character, assuming him happy at the street while carrying some pain in real life. It's just assumption for this character. I made Tim from real life to a fictional character here. So just assume, give a story for Tim. Revisited Hexham and showed the artist buying flowers and playing cello at the grave for someone close to him. I had no plan who is that person to be in the grave, but Tim was playing, I just shot it. As I said, it was the camera, the pen. Then the story of one-legged man was, I had this plan of doing a film about one-legged man. This was added to this film. And I thought that will give an extra punch for the story and build it, because these two people are two sides of a coin, very contrasting to people. I am completely like a depressed person in the film, and Tim mostly cheerful, though the agony is there. And I'm a person who hasn't come out from my depression for past 3 years. That's the title 3 years is. And this is the day I'm coming out of my depression. The one-legged man meets someone who gives him the envelope which takes the story. That's my friend Peter. So that story was added. Peter and we worked together in Skimstone Studio, Newcastle Art Center. Peter was supposed to shoot certain scenes. Then we had a discussion and we thought about he being my friend who passed me that envelope. And he shot those scenes where I walked in, and he became the actor also.
It's always interesting knowing Arun.
And interestingly, I have never written any dialogues in this film, other than my character. Tim's dialogues were Tim's dialogues. Peter's dialogue. I asked him, Peter, this is my character, listen. And what do you want to tell this character? Then what Peter said, I just recorded there. The couple who danced for Tim's music in reality, that dance sequence was real. There's no fiction in that. In reality, joined the fiction later.
It's my ambition to get about 50 couples waltzing in Northumberland Street.
They both, Lana and Drew, actually we had a good chat there while the shooting, and they shared their number, and I called them and asked, can you be a part of this fiction? So they just joined me. The couple who danced for Tim's music in reality joined the fiction to stick the cello artist and the one-legged man in real time. They developed their own story. In fact, I asked those people, both of them, to create their own story. You have just 2-3 minutes of screen space. I need your story here. The final link that connects the two characters needed a face. I thought a lot, and who could be the face for this person? We initially thought it can be Tim's wife, or wife's character, or the cello musician's wife character. Or I thought a young face would have more. Then one of the young people who worked with me in Claire in the studio, she said, use my photograph. Then I said, fine. The girl's photograph thus connects the main protagonist in the end of the narrative. A scene was shot where a cello artist and the one-legged man joins in a single frame at the street. Ends with one-legged man back to a normal real life. And I'm not going to explain the story, and you already know story and the process. I'm just explaining the characters and finishing my presentation with that. The cello artist. Tim plays cello at the street in real life. His cheerful personality triggered the story from. A fiction narrative was assumed around his reality.
But sometimes I play that and no one's giving me any money, you're getting upset, and then you play that and people come off all over the place. I don't know whether it's because it's a hymn, I don't know whether they feel guilty or whether they like it, or whether I just don't. You never know why people give you money, and hopefully it's because they're enjoying it.
I have a feeling that if I stand here, you won't.
Yes,
get
it's not.
Much
It's
money.
not. Yeah, it's not.
I should.
It's much better. Is it rain? Yes,
No, I'm not talking about that. If I stand here, people won't put money, I think.
yes, I know. It's difficult. Yeah.
So I just stand somewhere.
Oh yeah.
From Tim's real life, a fiction was built around his real character, and as I said, we just made this film possible. The one-legged man, he's unreal. He's totally unreal. I have one leg. I have 2 legs. Sorry. Imaginary, pure fiction. He is the story of the film. थोड़ा नीचे रख सकता है. That's fine. No, whichever way you're comfortable.
All right, action.
I need more reverb or not more. Okay. The girl, unreal, pure imagination. These 3 are probably the main characters. As I said, it's the Shah who worked with us in Skimstone. The friend, Peter. Unreal, pure imagination. Peter, who played this character, did the camera work also for the film. So it was when we need a situation, we assumed a situation, and Peter became that character. So in real life, Peter's not a journalist. Peter's not a friend. I don't know exactly what that character does, but he has something to do with my life. This one-legged man. I think it was good.
Okay.
Just have a long shot. So for safety, we could take one more.
What, the same shot? No, pan back.
Pan back, yeah.
Yeah, or pulled back. That's what I mean. Yeah. So let's go for it.
Okay, so go from the same point, right? Start from the same point.
Yeah, from the same point, but leave 3 seconds. Count 3 after leaving, so the door was shut. Don't help him with the door.
Imagine how difficult it is in a real person. The couple. This is the one of the interesting 2 characters in the film. Real people who dance for the music in reality. Well, one of the day when I was shooting the Tim, like documentary footage, these 2 people just came in. They just came into the frame and they just, I was just sitting with him and suddenly I just saw them dancing. Then we had a good chat and I didn't ask them to do any dance or anything. They just started dancing. And Tim was also completely involved. There's a lovely romantic dance sequence then, which I shot there. Then we had a chat with both of them. Drew is from New York and Lana is from Northeast. Both are real life couple. Now both are in Taiwan. Last month they couldn't join. They went to Taiwan for some. And Lana is a fine art student, finished studies from Newcastle University, I think. And they, later when I talked to them on phone, see, I'm building a story with what we have shot right now. So will you be interested in being real life characters in the film? Just put the same costumes and come and join me in Northern Line Street. They both came. They're very happy to involve. I didn't have any story when I went there. I went there, asked them, see, you have probably 2 or 3 minutes of screen presence in the film. You need to develop a story. They said, do you need any dialogues? I said, up to you. I mean, I would prefer it without dialogues. Then they said, I said, we don't need to stretch the story much. I mean, just show what you want to do. I said, probably our story is that after the dance we proposed. That's when we actually proposed. And we fell in love. Okay, good. So what are you planning to do? We are going to smooch. Fine, smooch. Sorry, I disturb you. Later, the same day, I asked them, I have a few shots to be finished with my character. So I was shooting them with one leg. Like, I have a little more scenes to be shown. You are a finance films, theatre finance student, I think. Can you do the shoot for me? Both of them joined me there, then and there. I finished my rest of the shooting there. In fact, the scenes where we 3 are there, the camera was there and nobody was there behind the camera. We just switched it on, came in front of the camera, set the frame and looked back. But it's from tilted the LCD screen this side and see, oh, it's fine, yeah, fine, thank you. They are real. All the people, the Tim's playing cello in the street, completely real. There's nobody fictitious in there. Everybody are real people. That they trigger the main storyline. That was the first day of the shoot also.
Further down the way. Spread out hands more. No one's ever requested, thank you for that before, thank you, I love it, It's
thank
cool.
you for playing that, you've made my mum, thank you very much. Have a good evening, thank you. Don't stop recording.
No, we're working out a film sort of thing, because make.
They're thinking of celebrating the film.
Make
Thanks, Dave. Absolutely, Dave. Well,
thank you.
yeah.
Thanks
That's
a
one
lot.
of the things for me. Yeah, thank you very much.
All of them are real people. And it's pure documentary footage.
Can I just say that the bit that happened by chance, not for this, but there was this couple, because couples go down all together go down from the top down to the bottom, and they come back later in groups and drabs over the hours till 1, 2, 3 in the morning. There's one couple in particular, a very young couple, about 25 something, and they were swearing at each other. They talked to him and see that, and I was playing the scene at the time. Take my hand, take my whole life, because I can't for you. And I carried on, I burst out, I realised I burst out laughing. And I was sort of too around. They're totally vivid, they went, oh no. If only you could film that sort of but some of them got brilliant, some of the people.
You know, when I first saw Tim playing cello, I thought it's just he playing cello. There was an amazing communication happening there. I mean, this is one of the best things about busking, I felt, Tim. I mean, there's an amazing communication. There's a lot of people interacting. They're just living a different life with the music.
I just love drunk romantic people.
And the guitarist in the film, he was busking somewhere else. And you know what? He's a real person.
I always wanna be by your side. Yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. Yeah. I just can't handle everything.
This is Akhil. In between it's Akhil, a friend of mine, who came to shoot that scene where me and Tim together. So we are just having a drink and sitting there. Then he came in. I forgot his name. Scott, yeah. Scott came in and he started playing guitar. Fixed the camera on his back and shot this sequence. So it gives an added strength to the film. So he was a real person who became the fiction later. The footage was added to the fiction narrative. It's purely documentary bit. And Akhil was the camera person, but he then there listening. The narrative happened, rather evolved than written. The first screening.
What was your idea, like the churchyard thing? That's your idea, playing next to
it happened, isn't it?
Yeah,
I came.
not right at the start, obviously.
Yeah, those portions we just build the story like that. And the first screening.
We went to a crematorium. What's a crematorium? Well, I mean, a huge big cemetery in Hexham.
Oh yeah,
That was
yeah.
just wouldn't have worked. Whereas this one next to us, Aikens, Dolly, and was nearby the local one.
Yeah.
That's absolutely. Yeah, it took so many. I'm going through that wall. It took so many. I had to clamber up this thing over and over again, about 10 times or something like that.
But then only we both were the crew and the cast there. So nobody to handle light or.
That is actually the way to get to this churchyard.
And the first screening, I think my first audience was definitely Tim. And this is the first screening of the film. Thanks. So any questions, Tyne?
Surely I'll give you some questions.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought your manifesto there was fascinating. So I'm quite interested in the idea of, trying to create artistic movements. Of course, Brian Sewell's just doing this at the moment, the non-relatively violent the idea of futurists or cubists, whatever. And your manifesto at the beginning there, your rules, are so sort of uncompromising. But I think, do you actually sort of see those as rules for your filmmaking career, or are they just the rules that you set yourself for this project?
I have done 15 short films. Okay. All my short films are. Only one short film has a script.
This is actually the second time I've seen it.
Yeah.
But it's the first time when we critiqued it, and I can see how it's moved on. I think there is some really beautiful moments within it. I think it still needs another effort. I'm asking you a question about the relationship with the documentary filmmaker and you're a narrative filmmaker here. Do you think the film is blurring the boundaries a bit between those two in terms of where it sits in terms of your audience to come? Because there's one part for me that I found quite difficult, is the bit where Tim's talking to camera.
Yes.
I feel everything else is beginning to sew together. How do you feel about why you included that part?
Tim's talking to the camera is probably the story of the film. I mean, I think the story's twist from documentary to real fiction happened with that dialogue. I mean, I could have omitted and said, but then, as he said, I don't want this barrier, documentary and fiction, this film.
But have you thought of that for us as audience? We are becoming emotionally involved in a narration, and that slightly breaks the magic. But as an audience member, that then I have to try and regain again, because at no point does anybody talk to the camera, or is there any sense of...
I tell you one more thing. While editing this film, and this is something I actually thought a lot of. I mean, I sat a lot on that, and whether to include him talking or not. See, until that portion, though it's documentary, there's music going in the background, and we are in a dreamy world, which I feel everybody is just going around in a very dream. Then suddenly there's a tilt from that. There's no music, and you started hearing only real sounds. And Tim's talk there puts this film in two pieces there, exactly. And that's exactly one reason I thought I should include this. I mean, you suddenly come out from that dream. Tim suddenly tells you, his character tells you, see, that's a dream and it's real. And you get, I needed that confusion. This is real or that is real.
I think the dialogue helps in that it shows how, when you realise the end story, how a person is coping with their grief. And they're coping with their grief by moving away from it completely. And this cello playing a complete diversion, all the interaction with the people in the street is his way of trying to forget and move on and cope with his grief. And I think that it actually adds something.
Yeah. I mean, I thought on similar lines, to be honest. I think that dialogue is something very important for me now, because it just put this film into, you saw unreal, real, unreal. There's a complication there. I mean, though it was real situation in the street with the music, people. There's a lot of dream going in your head. There's so much of music. Music creates you go to a different level of dreaming stage. It's all real people, but you don't feel them. They are fiction. They are just flowing with the story.
I think there's a gender difference going on here, because I actually agree with the lady. I actually agree with her, because I was so emotionally involved with the film at that point, and I thought...
I have to agree with you.
Yeah.
I did.
It kind of broke the magic, if you like, for me. And that was magic. It was brilliant.
The way it felt to me, because you'd started it with the car and the holstering devices, this is this date and then 3 years later, it felt like that was a story to begin with, that was fiction. So therefore I was expecting fiction. So the bits that you describe as documentary, to me didn't feel like documentaries, they felt like fiction, where clearly there are real people in there, but it's like you're taking a character out to interact with the real world. And that seemed just to fit into that whole fictional storyline, essentially. That just seemed to be the way the film was. And that, I think, is why that middle bit where Tim turned and talked to the camera felt so jarring to me, because suddenly he wasn't just interacting with the world as a character, he was stepping into a different thing and becoming a real person, which then felt like that was the only documentary and everything else was fiction. That's why that bit felt
I totally agree to what you said now. I mean, that's real documentary footage. I'm not claiming it to be documentary anywhere. It should feel like fiction. Ultimately, this is a story, narrative film, and it should feel like fiction, except for the fact that the people who are there, real people, and it's real situations. But then, if you get it, you felt it like fiction, that's the way I wanted it. And if Tim's talking, and then that's just a notification that this is documentary footage. And you need that confusion there.
One thing I really, really did like about it was the start with the movement going that way through the trees, and then it came full circle with Tim going through the trees, going the other direction, 3 years later going to the cemetery. Don't know whether that was intentional or not.
No.
But it did very much echo the start of the film.
So next time you must say yes.
There was also the imagery where the cello case looked like a coffin. It was quite good the way he was walking through.
Cello is an amazing instrument, and that changed the mood for the whole film. Trust me, if you don't see the film at all, just see a still of Tim playing cello and sitting there. The cello case, it's not even the cello, had an amazing symbolism or something. It just hit your head. I mean, I totally agree to that. I felt when Tim was walking with the cello case in the woods.
It looks like a human being.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so much. There's some subtext which is not deliberate. I'm not putting anything there. It's just happening.
Can I ask Tim, did you choose all of the music? Just whatever you felt like playing?
Well, that's what I play. Well, no, you sort of chose the one that played.
The grey one.
The grey one.
Grey one we thought about.
Oh, that was amazing. I mean, how great they are. I have never ever cried at a short film before. Honestly, I just thought, oh my God, because everybody can remember a granddad or an uncle who used to sing that. You just do. I mean,
I was really
at my age, you do anyway.
Tim Hinton was very upset.
That was magical, I thought. Yeah, the choice of that piece of music, yeah.
Tim actually, the same actor, really prayed for my thing. That's a serious
I think your performance is very strong because of its natural persona of who you are. That's something I really enjoy, that strength, just believing your world so much because of the way you actually My leg must play cello, so I found it really hard. Remaining playing cello as a child, it's lovely to see you do it.
In fact, the people who I thought I could have deleted a lot of documentary scenes, a lot of people interacting, but then at certain points you feel that they all have their own stories inside. When they interact with Tim, and it looks as if they are forgetting their stories and they are interacting with the music there.
There are other aspects of it. When you scratch the surface, when you see Tim, until the last 30 seconds, he's never in his own house, which is pretty typical of somebody who's been bereaved.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's out at all times of day and night, really ducking the issue.
Yeah.
Oh, we did a lot of takes for that scene where the camera goes back to the photograph.
It's beautiful,
I mean, there's somebody else controls. I call God the perfect production controller. Oh, I feel very privileged to feel it here, and more privileged to listen to the comments, which is very, very, very powerful.
What are you going to do with it now?
The film. As I said, I never thought about that. While doing the film, I never thought about it. After finishing the film, I never thought about it. Probably, I have put it online and shooting people, YouTube and all that, shared with people. That
I think that film would have a really good festival line if you can get over that small thing and maybe a bit. I know it's terrible to have to edit out things that you may love, but I mean, if that is what it takes to get into that, then I would say do it. I think it could have a really good festival.
There's loads of traditional music that you can pick, which is suitable for a challenge that nobody would take any issue with at all. It's traditional and it's disappeared in the mist of time.
No, but I don't want to reshoot anything. That will be that will be interesting.
Arun, do you use the same sort of rules again, or will you take it?
I was being following the same rules.
That's absolutely right.
My first short film, which was played in a festival, the very first short film that was done 7 years back. It's called Here We Go, 1 minute short film. I did a documentary film about blind chess player. He was my hostel mate in college. I did my documentary as part of my course. But then, very interesting thing which I found is like once I went to his village, from a rural village in Tamil Nadu, India. There's no transportation to go to his house. Go down there. He said, wait a minute. He was tracking me and going all the way, as if he see everything in front of him. And I don't know. I'm used to the place. I don't know anything. I was holding my hand and going like that. And at one point, we got out from the bus and he said, wait, my cousin is coming. And he came with 2 cycles. I sat on the other one, he and his cousin on the other one. But after finishing the documentary, while returning back, I found something really, really interesting I couldn't shot because of the low light. He is sitting in the carrier of the cycle, and his cousin is holding the handle, but he lifts his legs up like this, and he is pedaling from behind. The blind guy is pedaling from behind the other. That was a concept which I felt very powerful. Later, when there's a film competition, advertised after 1 year, which is for differently abled people. I called immediately this guy. I want to shoot that same scene, I said, and I'm going to shoot with you. Later, we did that short film. 1 minute short film, which is, he's real person, real blind, he's pedaling from the back. I did the footage, and it felt like a fiction. And my purpose is a lot of things in space, which is, I always have this problem, even if I plan things, I include a lot of things, I end up deleting things while editing. Everboard I thought of having a background score, delete it, and end. I have more scenes of this kid, so water dripping into his kid's eye. After there is a hope of rain or something, which was there included, which I'm sure I didn't use it at all. But a lot of times it happens. Trust me, for me it happens, I don't know. As I said, the biggest production control in the world is God. He fixes everything on time. I went for a documentary, it's called In Search of Peace, where I wanted a young man searching for peace and he's climbing the hill and he's deciding to suicide there. Then suddenly he hears the sound of the storyline is like this actually, a sound of something, animal was caught up in somewhere and he's saving it, suddenly he feels the peace inside the mind, which he has been searching for long, and he's returning back. Silent, there's no dialogue in the entire film. But I don't know what animal it's going to be. But me and my actor went all the way up, trekked up to the hill. We found a house, there were a goat and a lamb. And we took both of them, and the owner house, he came and helped us there. Real time, film crew. And I actually shot the film with this goat and the lamb. Lamb actually got, then the situation was made. But then everything was there on place, which is not deliberate. Okay, that's it. Thank you. So then I'm very privileged. And I'm very privileged to be sharing with a group like this, which is very Yeah, it's not just comments, it's powerful comments.
Yes. Yeah.